from classic to contemporary. Okay, are you ready for this great fall blouse? I am fresh back from New York, gone to fashion shows in New York and Neiman Marcus, all over the place. I have so many ideas in this head, it's like exploding. So here's what I've noticed in general, and it's going to be inclusive on this blouse also, is if we take, and I mean, I know it's been this way for years, but if we take the same basic patterns and put a little something that makes them new for this year, it's amazing how fresh and current they look without looking too young or trying to be our granddaughters or whatever. It's just amazing what great trends we can do. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to start with 575. And the reason I'm starting with this one is because it's got a yoke. Stripes are everywhere for fall. I'm going to do play on stripes. I'm going to change this. I'm going to do 4 changes. I'm going to change from woven to knit. So that means I'm going to change the armhole and the sleeve. I'm going to change the length. I'm going to add 4 inches. I'm going to play with the stripes. That's not a big deal. I'm going to add an opening in the back because I'm going to wear this over a little shell. So I'm going to make an opening in the back. You'll see that here in a little bit. And let's see, 1, 2, add length, and go to a knit armhole. Okay, those are my 4. Knit armhole, add length, do an opening in the back, and change up the sleeve. So I'm going to do the pattern work first, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to choose to lay it out on the stripe. And I love this fabric. Love it. It is a two-way stretch, so I could do it either direction. But what I want this top to be is close to the body at the top, but then full at the bottom. Not full, but just to echo the bell sleeve is what I'm going to do. All right, so this is the center back piece. I've copied it. The pieces that I'm going to change, I've copied, and that's the center back and the sleeve. So on the center back, I'm going to add 4 inches. That's not a big deal. But at center back, I'm actually not going to cut it on the fold anymore. I'm going to make about a 4-inch opening, so 2 inches, and cut it at an angle. So right here it will close, and I can cut that on the fold, but then I want this to be open, and I'll add a seam allowance here. I'm going to add the 4 inches down here. So see what I'm doing by cutting this away is I'm creating this gap, this V, inverted V that will go down the back of the center, and it will open up, and then I'm going to tie those with ties. And I've used my contrasting fabric is going to be a black stretch denim. This is just going to be so much fun. All right, so that's all I have to do there is just decide how wide I want it, and you'll see my finish, so you can look at mine before you decide. But if you like mine, I did it 2 inches wide, but I added 4 inches here because I'm adding 4 inches to everything. And then I've got my knit sleeve, and again, I made a copy of my knit sleeve. Let's do here so you can see. And what you want to do first is fold this in half, not the top of the sleeve, but the body of the sleeve. And then fold it in quarters. This will give you your proportions that are really easy to make it right. Now, because I only want to do a 3/4 sleeve, I'm cutting it off at this fold. And you can add seam allowance if you want, but in my case, I'm actually going to, it's going to be bell and it's going to be open, so I'm going to cut 2 of them so they face each other and then just sew into this seam. So this is the first seam I'm going to do, and I suggest when you cut them apart, just put a notch in it. So you know those 2 come back together, and then cut these off. And then what I do is I add seam allowance here. You can go through and actually do the work. I just notice if I'm just doing it for fun, I just don't, I don't actually make a new pattern, but it's totally your call. All right, then this part is going to be the bell. And this part right there is 10 inches, and I'm going to open it up to 18. And where did I get these numbers from? It's just numbers that I got from shopping, measuring what I like. So I'm going to 18 inches. So I'm going to go open on this side. This is really easy to do. until this part down here, and I'll actually do it on my fabric, measures about 18. That's what it's going to look like. And generally, when you're doing something like this, it's 2 to 1 is why. If this measures almost 10, this will measure almost 20, and you'll have a 2 to 1 look, and that's a really nice look. But again, what I'm going to do is cut 2 of these. I'm actually going to face the opening. I'm going to sew this completely to where it's only to where it's open here and here. I'm not going to sew those together because I want there to be an opening on the bell sleeve. So when it's hanging down, it's actually open on the inside. So when I move my arm, it will kind of flare. I really like the look. I saw it in a fashion show and I really liked it. Okay, so I've done my sleeve. I figured out the proportions. This is in proportion now for me. And then I'm going to cut 2 of these. Well, actually 4 of them because I want 2 for each side. And then again, what I'm going to do is completely finish 3 sides. This will be the only side that's left open, and then I'll sew this to this portion, and then when I sew them together, I'll only stitch down to there. That's going to be the sequence of sewing. I'm going to go sew it. You guys aren't going to see me sewing it because I've had too many complaints that you can't see, but you know what? It's just too hard to show, and it's not that hard to sew. Again, I'm just going to finish this side, leave this side open. Sew this side to this side, which is the regular seam. And then when I sew it down, I'm only going to sew right to there. So it will leave these 2 seams open and exposed. It'll be really easy. This, when I sew the back, this is cut on the fold. Then I'm going to hem this side, and then just sew to the side pieces. It's going to be no different at all. And then again, I'm going to put little ties across the back. I'll have a bell sleeve. And then what I did is I did a dark, it's a black denim, and that's going to be the front facing and the collar. Then what's really cool is these little buttons we have. And they're kind of like these, they're beautiful. They're really contemporary, they're beautiful. We have them on our site. I found them in New York. I'm absolutely in love with these things. And so I'm going to put those up the front. Those are going to be my buttons. And the cool thing is they're going to make just a really nice contrast. And that's also why I decided to go the dark up the front. So y'all know these are all just crazy design decisions. I don't think there's a right and a wrong. It's just, I think I kind of get a whole vision for what I want. And then I'm going to wear it with black leggings. Except what's big this fall is leather leggings. So I may just throw in a little pair of leather leggings. We'll see. All right, I'm going to go off to sew. I'll report back. Oh, one more thing. Just on the blouse, on the yoke, the stripes are going to go across. And on the body, the stripes are going to go up and down. So that means on the sleeve, this portion, stripes are going to go across. And on the bell, they're going to go up and down. Okay, so I'm just kind of matching the yoke portion and the top of the sleeve together. I can't wait. It's time to sew. Be right back. So it's all done. I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. Turned out exactly like I wanted. Think ahead, figure out. I don't think in the camera you can see that the stripes at the top are going across and then the stripes at the bottom are going vertical, because that just helps you make your look your best. These were the sleeves I was talking about. Notice when they're open on the inside, when you go to move your arms, they just kind of move out of the way. They're perfect. They're really easy. I love the length. I love everything about them. But again, I had tried them on and I had measured them to figure out, and I showed you how to do that. Then in the back, when you put it on, and if you need more in the hips, you can adjust these a little bit. But be sure your blouse fits in the first place, because what you don't want is too much spread at the back. You don't want to look like you need to open up the ties. You want it to look like it's cute and just, what it is. And then most of all, what you can do is these over-the-knee boots. I love them. 2 years ago, I bought them. I said to everybody, buy them. They're going to be in style for a while because they've just come out. They are. Over-the-knee boots are so popular. And they just really add a fun edge. They don't have to be heels. Mine are flats, but they're fabulous. So happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.